The state of Texas will be allowed to enforce a temporary ban on nearly all abortions during the coronavirus pandemic for the time being. This according to a ruling by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which overturned a federal judge's decision earlier this week that put a hold on the ban, claiming it would cause irreparable harm to patients. Texas Governor Greg Abbott put the abortion ban in place last week in an effort to curb the spread of the virus and free up medical resources to treat it. Planned Parenthood and the Center for Reproductive Rights are appealing that decision. Joining me now to discuss the Texas case and how it might affect a battle brewing over abortion in Louisiana is attorney and associate director of Louisiana Right to Life, Angie Thomas. Angie, thanks for being with me. We'll talk about the implications of that Texas ruling in a moment, but I want to start with a group called June Medical Services. It's an abortion provider in Louisiana. Now, the Department of Louisiana Health banned elective non-emergency procedures in the state. So why is June Medical Services defying that order? How are they getting away with this?
Right, Raymond. It's just shameful. It's their reckless just pursuit of abortion on demand, and it needs to stop.
Well, there are two other abortion providers in Louisiana that have complied. Why is June Medical the outlier here?
Well, as we've seen in the past years, June Medical tends to defy the orders and laws. So you might remember June Medical Services from the Supreme Court case that oral arguments were just heard last month at the U.S. Supreme Court level. June Medical Services did not want to comply with Louisiana law, common sense legislation about admitting privileges. So here again, June Medical Services is putting profits over patients and truly endangering women and our whole society.
Now, but what happens now if a woman has complications during or after an abortion and the doctor does not have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital?
Well, that patient is admitted into the ER, and another doctor has to assess the patient, which is very difficult, but because they don't know what has been going on with that patient. And so here again, in this global pandemic where everyone is changing the way they live, you know, June Medical Services is business as usual. So if they have a patient that is admitted to the ER, that will be a very difficult situation for the healthcare systems to deal with at this time.
But Angie, I'm confused, and I think and I'm here in Louisiana, and I'm sure other people watching are confused. How is this group, if in Texas you have the Fifth Circuit overturning that lower court ruling and it's allowing Texas to enforce a ban on elective procedures, including abortion, why is June Services allowed to do this in Louisiana when the Attorney General and the governor have already come out against this?
Right. It's a very interesting situation where they are just simply defying the orders. And we just did find out today that the abortion clinic in Baton Rouge just reopened today. So they had been closed for the past 2 weeks, but just found out that they reopened as well. So they're claiming that abortion is essential. But certainly the wording in Louisiana, especially, our Department of Health issued guidelines that stated that the only medical and surgical procedures allowed are those that treat emergency medical conditions. Well, certainly abortion as an elective procedure would not qualify. And, you know, the other part here is that they're using very scarce personal protective equipment, and they're taking that from the people who really need it in the ER.
Okay, but you've got the Fifth Circuit Court ruling now. Why can't Louisiana invoke that and go enforce the ban?
Well, right now it's a wait and see. The Fifth Circuit issued a temporary stay, allowing the Texas to continue while the case continues through the process. So really, we are waiting to see what the Fifth Circuit is going to do here. Okay.
Pro-choice abortion activists say this is just an opportunistic attempt to block women from their health care they're entitled to in a time of crisis. Is it?
Well, it's just a shame to see how abortion advocates continue to just put women at risk. The narrative is that abortion becomes an exception to all of the rules, that they don't have to play by the rules. But here we are in a global pandemic. Everyone is affected, and the abortion clinics need to comply with these guidelines just like everyone else.
Okay, but Angie, you're asking them to comply. There's a ban in place. So what are you actually asking? Do you want the authorities to go in and shut these clinics down? Are you asking the governor to send officers over there? What are you all actually asking? It seems you've already got a ban in place. They're defying it. Why aren't officers going in?
Right. It's fascinating. I think it's because the resources are so scarce. All of our government officials are putting all of their resources into fighting this pandemic. Louisiana is such a hot spot. And interestingly enough, of course, New Orleans is a hot spot, but Shreveport, where June Medical Services has continued to defy this order for several weeks now, that's becoming a real hot spot. And Raymond, they have one eyewitness said that there were over 20 people who walked in with their with people walking with them, women walking in before lunch. So this is it's business as usual at June Medical Services.
Well, so and again, if churches are non-essential, but this is, so these people can congregate with abandon. Look, here in New Orleans, the mayor is sending out officers to break up groups of 10 or more congregating on a street corner. So clearly this is running afoul of public safety bans at this point.
That is correct. Yes. And putting women and really their own staff at risk. So what we're asking is, a lot of medical professionals are looking at this, and they are writing the Louisiana State Board of Medical Examiners. There's also been a lot of letters written to the governor. But again, the governor and the Department of Health are really very busy right now. And so why is the abortion clinic continuing to just shamefully defy these guidelines? We just don't know. And we just pray that.
So this is in Bell Edwards' hands. This is in John Bell Edwards' hands, who ran as a pro-life governor. I guess this is a chance to see for real what he's made of. Angie, I thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we'll check in the days ahead.
Thank you, Raymond.